If we could sum it up in like one thing,
Yep.
I would say that it's the belief that the hygiene department is not profitable. And when you have that belief, you're going to invest very little in it, and you're going to provide your hygiene department with very little resources, and it's not going to be very profitable. So that's something we need to work on.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part two. David Rice, Dentistry IQ with
Bethany Montoya, RDH.
Hey Bethany, what's shaking?
Not much, not much. Just loving life and enjoying dentistry.
I'm so glad to hear that. And that's kind of the part two topic of our conversation. We started last time with the question of are we the most divided we've ever been in dentistry? And we kind of leaned into the hygiene side of it. So maybe we can lean into the dentist side of it today and don't hold back. So
Okay.
what are dentists, where are dentists getting off track?
I think if we could sum it up in like one thing,
Yep.
I would say that it's the belief that the hygiene department is not profitable. And when you have that belief, you're going to invest very little in it, and you're going to provide your hygiene department with very little resources, and it's not going to be very profitable. So that's something we need to work on.
Yeah, that's true. I love that. I'll tell you what, I've been doing this for 30 years. There's not one day I want to walk in a practice door without my hygiene team. Not one ever. And it started when I still remember the first day when I took over my first practice in Lynn. Lynn, if you're listening, you're still awesome. Sat me down and said, "Hey, what I know is you are absolutely amazing at doing the dentistry thing, and I'm absolutely amazing on the hygiene side. And I need you to trust me and let me do it." And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I love that confidence she brought to the table, and she clearly had the game to back it up. So for dentists who buy into that myth that their hygiene department isn't profitable, how do you help them see the light?
Well, I think a lot of it's going to come down to the the resources that you're providing to your team. So one thing that I see with a lot of practices is they've shortened a lot of the appointments for the hygienist. So, traditionally we used to have 60 minutes for the average recare appointment. I think a lot of hygienists traditionally have maybe like 90 minutes for a new patient appointment if they're seeing the new patient from start to finish. And just over the years, we've seen those appointments get shorter and shorter and shorter, where now a lot of practices maybe provide 40 minutes for a recare appointment and maybe 60 minutes for a new patient appointment. And when you are condensing the time that much, what you're doing is you're preventing your hygienist from doing anything more than cleaning teeth. And if we look at it that way, cleaning teeth in and of itself is not very profitable. I think we all know that. Insurance reimbursement for a prophy is notoriously low. And even if you are operating a fee for service practice, the fee for the average prophy is also very low. So if you are setting your hygienists up to only do prophy after prophy after prophy during their whole entire day, then of course it's not going to be very profitable. But if we can provide them more time, that's going to allow the hygienist to actually follow a process of care that they learned while they were in school. And that's going to include things like a comprehensive periodontal exam. And by doing that, that will give your hygienist an opportunity to actually identify and diagnose periodontal disease with you and recommend periodontal therapy services. It's also going to allow them to assist you in assessing things like occlusion, clenching and grinding, airway, things that you can partner with your hygienist to be able to provide collaborative care to the patient. And when we're collaborating, that's when we're going to be the most profitable. But I like that comment that you made about trust. You said that your previous hygienist said, "I need you to trust me." I think that that's a huge thing that many practices are lacking. I think that for a lot of hygienists, when they get hired onto a practice, I think the mentality these days is I hired you, but you need to prove that I can trust you before I'm going to give you trust. And so to a hygienist that or to any team member, that might look like I'm not going to give you a key to the building until you've been here for 60 or 90 days. I'm not going to buy you any uniforms until you've been here for a while. I'm not going to give you a unique provider ID for a while. All of those things communicate to that person that I don't think you're going to stick around. And if you do, then I'll give you some things. So I think being able to change our mindset to just automatically trusting people until they give us a reason why we shouldn't. I think that is also a big game changer. Just a couple of ideas there.
Yeah, I love that. It reminds me of a quote um, where CEO goes to a CFO, or I'm sorry, CFO goes to a CEO and says, so, hey, what if we make this big investment in this person and they don't pan out? And the wiser CEO says, well, what if they stay? And to your point, I think we've got to go all in on everybody on our building. We got to go all in on each other with
Hmm.
full trust until someone's proven otherwise. And if you really, really worry about that, maybe the better course of action is to take a step back and look at how you hire people, how you
Yeah.
attract the right people, what interview process you have. And that's probably more where the gap is as opposed to what people are doing inside your building. So, okay. And I'm just going to say it on behalf of the dentists who are not this way, but notoriously dentists can be cheap. And that's a lot of the problem that we're seeing out there, right? Like,
Yeah.
sorry, dentists, I'm just going to say it. But, COVID didn't cause all the friction that's happening. It was just a straw that broke the camel's back. People realize there are other opportunities out there. So, what are essential items as a top hygienist that I know you are that you need, and when you have them, you can really fly?
Hmm. Probably the primary thing that I need to be successful is my own hygiene budget. So getting together with the team and discussing like what a healthy budget could look like, but knowing that I've got a certain dollar amount every single month that I can use however I need to use it, that right there is going to communicate to me that I am trusted as a member of the team and that I have the freedom to get the instruments and the new products that I'm learning about in all of the CE classes that I'm attending without having to spend months and months and months trying to convince my leadership that it's necessary. I have the resources to make it work, and maybe I can't get everything that I want in an entire month. Maybe I need to be resourceful and kind of plan that out month after month. Um, but I think that speaks so much value to the hygiene department when you're trusting your clinicians with a monthly budget and you're providing them with that level of autonomy within the practice. I think great things are going to happen when we operate that way.
Oh, so good. So, friends, we need people, we need process, we need production, we need trust. And I'm going to say what you wove into that equation was with that trust comes great accountability. So, we can do better. We can do this. There are practices that are thriving out there who have great relationships and everything's going really well. So, Bethany, thanks for hanging out today. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.